Hey, chestnuts. All right, today we're going to be looking at one of the most complicated world championship games of all time, Kramnik Anand. Okay, this happened all the way in 2008 in Bonn, Germany. All right, so Anand had become the FIDE world chess champion but by 2007, and Kramnik got second in that tournament, and the world championship got unified in 2006. But since there were complications in the reunification of the format, the tournament format, like Kramnik was allowed to challenge Anand for the title, even though Anand won a knockout tournament, right? So it wasn't the traditional like Carlsen challenging Anand or like Kasparov challenging Karpov. So Anand won the tournament, and now Kramnik is allowed to try to get his title back. All right, and let's see how it turned out. Oh, d4, d5, c4, c6. So going into some Slav formation. Knight to f3, knight to f6, knight to c3, e6, e3, knight b to d7, bishop d3. So this is all very, very normal stuff. Some mainline Slav stuff so far. But d takes c4, and then bishop takes c4. And now we have now we'll be entering the Moran, right? It's a pretty awesome opening. It has for a lot of complications. I think Sevian beat Wesley So with the Moran with some crazy line, and I think Anand's Immortal was also with the Moran. So some pretty cool games with this line. Bishop to d3, a6 to reinforce his pawn chain so you can prepare for the c5 push. We have e4, controlling the center, c5. All right. Then we have e5, and then this is where it gets dicey. Okay, c takes d4, attacking this knight. All right. And then instead of capturing this knight right here, Kramnik plays knight takes b5. All right. You can also play knight to e2, and then after that we'll have knight to g4. Now there are two knights attacking this square. Then we'll have bishop to e4, rook to 8. Now this rook's being attacked, right? So knight to e7, castle, knight g takes e5, bishop to f4. All right, so this is a possibility. All right, but knight takes b5, okay? Because your knight is gonna be attacked anyway, right? So, and yeah. All right, threatening to hop into that square. All right, so we have to go a takes b5, e takes f6 finally, g takes f6. All right, so now we know Anand's intentions. He's not going to castle because there's going to be this huge hole here. There are these rook ideas, right? And you see this in the Richter Rauser Sicilian. This formation, this kind of pawn fortress. All right, castle, queen to b6, queen to e2, and now we have bishop to b7. You can also play b4 and rook d1. Then it goes bishop to c5, a4, e5. So you build this fortress around your king before going for the kingside attack. So this is also possible. Okay, knight to d2, bishop b7, aiming at the king. Knight e4, and then rook to a5, stopping this pawn advance. All right, but that's not what happened. Let's get out of Fantasyland. Okay, a takes b5, g takes, okay, castle. All right, we've seen this. Bishop to b7, and now we have bishop takes b5, and then bishop d6, rook d1, going after this pawn right here. Rook g8, putting some dangerous tactics on this king. So then we have g3, right? Just to mitigate that, because you're gonna have a rough time if you don't stop this. Okay, g3, then rook to g4. protecting this pawn. Because there are two pieces attacking it. Now that it has two defenders. So bishop to f4 now. Alright, contesting this bishop that's aiming at the king. Alright, knight to d2 would lead to a crazy variation. Let's say king to e7. Bishop takes. Rook a to g8. If you let this go there. Bishop to b5. h5. So you can go for this all-out attack since there's two rooks barreling at the king. And these bishop pair, right? Bishop pair from heaven. Okay, a4. Queen c5. Rook to a3, h4, king to f1, queen to h5. So now black is down a piece, so he has to counter this attack to work. Alright, but that's one intense variation that can come out. Okay, bishop to f4, bishop takes, then knight takes, d4, h5, right? Because there was this discovered attack on the rook, and now this h5 move defends the rook. Knight takes e6. This game is so insanely complicated. It's crazy. F takes e6, and then rook to d7, and now we have this threaten these discovered check. The king goes to f8, and then queen to d3, and then after that we have rook to g7, contesting this rook. If another crazy line, if bishop takes g3. Then we can have h takes g3, h4, rook to d6 attacking this queen, and then queen to c5. So yeah, you can go for this all-out attack. But okay. Rook to g7, rook takes g7, king takes g7, then g takes f4, and now there's this hole. Oh man. But then this king is also exposed. So literally is like this game is insane in the membrane. Okay, rook to d8, queen to e2, then we have king to h6. Because like there are no dark squared bishops, right? And this pawn is blocking the dark squares, and it's also protecting this pawn right here. Okay, king to f1, rook to g8, a4, bishop to g2 check. Oh man, oh man. King to e1, bishop to h3. Rook to a3. Now we have rook to g1 check. Oh man, it's getting dicey. King to d2 to get out of the check. Queen to d4 check. King to c2. So this king is making a huge trip around the board. And then bishop to g4. What Anand missed was bishop to f4, f5 check. Of course, this is very hard to see. Then you have king to b3, and then you have rook to c1. And if you go to rook to a2 to defend the pawn, this variation can happen. Queen to d5 check, bishop to c4 to block, queen to c5, bishop to d3, check, okay, block again, c6. So you can slowly but surely get at the king right here. Alright, and then now that you can slowly but surely, you don't capture this rook because this rook is going to be captured too. So check. Alright. It could lead. There's a lot of crazy stuff that could have happened in this game. Okay, so there's just so many moves that might have been possible. And then finally, now that this rook is out of this queen sight, you can take this rook. All right. So after this bishop f5 check, there's also this other move you can go to. You can if black plays a5 instead of tries to defend this pawn, then that pawn will be attacked. Okay, queen d5 check, blocks. Check, 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 check city, right? Now this pawn is being attacked, major weakness here. Alright, and now this file, it's looking dangerous. And then check, and then, yeah. The only way to stop this, the only way to stop this is to capture, right? So you're gonna lose your queen. Okay, because the king has no more spaces. Alright. Crazy game, right? Crazy. Okay. Okay, after you check bishop d3. Oh yeah. So f3 to block this attack on the queen. And then we have this check, bishop to d3. And then if king to b3, then rook to c1 and then a5. Alright. Bishop to d3. But okay, so Anand goes bishop to h3. But he he misses a winning combination. Can you see it? Can you be like Paul Morphy or Mikhail Tal? See the awesome combination? All right. So you take a few minutes on that. If you see it, man, you should be like a world champion or something, because this is like ridiculous. Okay, bishop takes d3 check. Rook takes d3. Queen to c4 check. Rook blocks. And if king goes to d2, right, there's mate. Okay, there's that motif. And then queen takes queen. Alright, but that's not what happened. Anand went for bishop to h3, a5, rook to g2, right? And now this queen is pinned. There's not really a way to save it. Okay, it's pretty much stuck here. And if this king moves, right, you're just gonna have an onslaught. So Kramnik is getting desperate now. He's just trying to get this pawn to queen, but it's not gonna happen. Rook takes e2 check, bishop takes, bishop to f5 check, king to b3, queen to e3 check, king to a2, queen takes e2, a7. Oh, is it gonna make it? It's gonna make it. Go pawn, go pawn, go pawn. White resigns here. The pawn can't go. So sad. All right, why does he resign? Well, let's see the ensuing variations. If king b3, then queen b5 check, king to c3, queen to d3 check, king to b4, queen to d4 check, and then king to b3. If king goes to b5, then queen takes b2 check, and yeah, you're just gonna lose this rook, right? Or even if you try to go to the rook, you're gonna lose it anyway. All right, you can block, but yeah, check. All right, so queen takes a3 check. King to b7. Yeah, you're just gonna lose this game. Okay, let's say if you go to king to a2, check, b3, check, c3 check, and then there's no way to stop this mate, right? If your rook goes here, mate. If you try to get a queen, it's mate. Alrighty. Well, guys, after this, Anand became world champion. Well, not after this game, after the match. And this was probably the coolest game, I thought. And Anand has played some really cool Moran games, right? So, but I thought this one is plus the significance of it. It was a world championship match, and he used black to crush Kramnik not once but twice. All right, actually, this is the first time he did it, but he did it again in a later game, which is just insane. Anand was insane. Alrighty, guys, if you like this video, just hit that subscribe button like a clock, hit that like button like a clock, and hit that notification bell like a clock. Do you guys want to see this cuddly face again? Alrighty, till next time.